at 824-0116. That's 824-0116. I love this place, a San Antonio classic, the Barn Door Restaurant. Just got about 2 minutes here, but we'll set up the next hour.
I love the Barn Door.
So do I. Good. We'll say that. We'll say that on the air.
I got nobody to take me.
Well, we'll talk about that, too. Becky Whetstone just told me, I love the Barn Door. So first of all, thank you for being with me on the Barn Door. But then you said, but I've got no one to take me.
Yeah, I know that makes Kris Zebrowski very angry, as we've talked many times about how he doesn't think a man should pay for a woman's meal at a restaurant unless she's earned it.
Zebrowski, you want to rebuttal?
Women are weaving off the road all over San Antonio, getting to know that that's how Kris Zebrowski
All I'll say
feels.
is a guy doesn't deserve to have his meal paid for if he hasn't earned it either.
Here we go.
No one owes anybody anything.
Here we go. Here we go again.
What about altruism? Just doing something
because you
for
revere
the sake
her.
Of giving.
Because you say, you know, I like this lady. I revere her.
You know what? I can't revere somebody I don't know. How can you revere someone
the
you
magic
just
spark,
met?
love or like at first sight. Maybe you've met her and you go, man, I'd love to have dinner with her. I'd love to take her to the Barn Door restaurant, get her one of the best steaks in town.
And if she feels that way as well, what's wrong with her paying?
Nothing.
Okay.
Well, I believe in equality. Either one can.
I do too.
But I also believe in chivalry. I believe in being a gentleman.
See, that I don't, because I agree with the other guy that we had on. Chivalry it's this
Mark Rudolph, that wild no nonsense man.
It's sexist, and it's sexist towards women because it says you poor women, you need men to take care of you.
Not saying you poor women.
It's just like affirmative action.
It's saying it's like affirmative action.
It's the same thing.
When a man wants to buy a woman a dinner on a date.
It's the same mentality. You're smaller and you're weaker, and you need the big strong man to take care of you.
Oh, that's
ridiculous. Patronizing.
Whatever happened to altruism, where you give with no expectation of anything in return? And you know what? Giving feels good. When I buy a dinner or a lunch for someone or give them something, I feel good.
All right, I promise in the 6 o'clock hour, we're talking about the holidays, we're talking about parenting, we're talking about depression and anxiety, and if you want to sound off on anything you hear coming out of the mouth of Dr. Becky Whetstone, Kris Zebrowski, or me, 599-5555. The doctor is in. Her website, spell it out, drbecky.com. It's going to be a bumpy 6 o'clock hour. KTSA time, 5:59. Funny, that was good.
That was hilarious.
It's forever preserved on video. That's going up on YouTube tonight.
Oh my gosh, Kris Zebrowski, the way your mind works is it's just got to be a jumble of brain wads that are discombobulated that
spare me your leftist academic brainwashing, okay?
Do you need a beverage? Do you have a beverage?
I don't have a beverage.
I got Diet Coke or water.
The camera's making me nervous.
I believe in all I will
Get used to the camera. You want water or Diet Coke?
Water, please.
Water.
I believe in true equality. True equality. Not some people are more equal than others.
And then he walks away.
You don't believe in giving. That's the problem. You don't believe in giving unless there's
When I
something to be
want to.
received. You know, you've got to earn it. That's not giving.
Everything that anyone does is selfish. That is yes. When you're nice to someone, why are you nice to someone?
Because it feels good.
Yes, to you. You do it because it feels good to you.
Okay.
That's a selfish act. Anything that anyone does is ultimately based on how it makes them feel.
All right, Kris.
I got some video of him lunging.
God.
I got
I'm
him.
going to go for a drink after this.
I got him lunging, making his point.
No, he's always lunging at me. That's his thing.
Wow, Denise wants to say women are the deadly species. What the? Look at that
Hey.
call
God,
screen. That's gonna be
man, I
interesting.
hear.
This may be a person who's had a...
You so went to college.
What?
They tried to drill that into my head too.
What do you? Oh, you're blaming on college
You know
that
what?
I think
You know
that
what? Okay.
it's a patriarchal
You believe in
society.
evolution, right? Sexual selection and all that, right? Right? Sexual selection is part of
I'm afraid to commit to anything because you're going to try and put me in a corner.
One of the
boxing me in a corner.
One of the mechanisms of evolution is sexual selection. Who gets to breed and who doesn't, right?
I guess so.
Who makes that choice? Women do. So if women don't like the way men are,
You should buy him dinner.
they have no one to blame but themselves because it's women who made men into what they are by who they choose to breed with and how how they raise them.
You'll appreciate their dependability.
So if women don't like, really, women are always on about how they're the better nurturers and all that. So if you don't like the way men are behaving, you have no one to blame but yourselves.
Insulated windows, so your table
That's baloney.
If you have a sliding glass door, you need to have replaced.
That's baloney. The way your mind like twists and
Why is
turns,
that
it
baloney?
scares me.
Why is that baloney? Don't attack me personally. Explain to me why that's not a valid.
That wasn't a personal attack. She said that's baloney. She didn't say you're baloney. She didn't say you're full of it. She said.
I did say the way his brain twists
okay.
and turns scares me.
Surely you admit that when it comes to sex, it's a seller's market. It's women's choice, right?
Well,
Because men have to work to attract the women.
ultimately,
And
it
entice them
should
into
be
it.
women's choice, but it doesn't really work like that in society.
It doesn't?
No, a lot of women, unfortunately, do not realize that they are the shoppers. That they can go to the store and choose the man they want. A lot of women have low self-esteem and sit out there, and the first man they meet, they have such low self-esteem, they just sort of, like, if he wants them, then they just go with that guy. So it's not the way...
Now, how do you know that they don't really like him?
Because I counsel them in my office by the
I don't think
10
that's a very
dozen.
representative sample.
Well,
That's not
hundreds of
scientific. That's
people.
self-selected. That's not a scientific sample.
Is that what you want?
Yeah, you can't just say, oh, well, that's like, that's the same fallacy as when someone says, well, you know, they say 1 out of every 5 people in the world is Chinese, but how can that be? I know hundreds of people and none of them are Chinese. It's the same logical fallacy.
Okay. Well, I just wrote my dissertation on this subject and did some scientific research on mate selection. So I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. God help me!
That almost gets into that debate into, is there a difference between I'm happy and I think I'm happy?